Hi, I'm Chef Steve. Welcome to the Care Kitchen, where we cook with kindness. This program is brought to you by ComForCare and At Your Side. ComForCare and At Your Side provides personal care for people throughout the United States and Canada. We're here with our program here in the Care Kitchen every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, featuring great recipes from the Care Kitchen cookbook, as well as just having some fun being creative with cooking and thinking about cooking as a meaningful activity for those in our care, whether it's a family member or taking care of yourself. So however we look at it, diet, nutrition, cooking is a lot of fun and a big part of our lives. So that's why we need to spend some time really putting some good attention to what's going to keep us healthy. So today we're going to feature a great recipe. This is a healthy vegan cookie, and it has lots of great ingredients in it. It makes a great snack, makes a great breakfast. It's a real pick-me-up, lots of energy, very dense nutritionally. So I'm going to get started with the recipe. And this, again, is in the Care Kitchen cookbook. So I got my bowl here, got all my ingredients, and we'll get started. So one of the great things about this recipe is that it really provides a lot of fiber in the diet. And as you know, I talk about fiber all the time and how important it is. And, for digestion and making sure that everything is running smoothly. Also, really to help to control blood sugar. Also, fiber is very important. Anything that requires a little more digestion time in terms to break it down, this is creating fiber that's helping to keep everything flowing very smoothly. Okay, so let's start with this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in 2 cups of oats. And this is just regular oatmeal. This is old-fashioned oats. And I got a half cup measure here. So putting in 4 of those give us 2 cups. And this is really the bulk of the dough that we're going to make for this. Okay, so we've got our oats in there. We're going to put in, also, this recipe calls for peanut butter. And we're just going to mix all the ingredients in here. So we need to put in a cup of peanut butter. And we'll do that right here. It's a half cup measure, as I said. So we're going to put in 2 of those. Get those in here. Making a lot of noise here, banging around. Let's get a little bit more in here. And we're getting our cup of peanut butter put in. Okay. So there is a cup of peanut butter in there and 2 cups of oats so far. And one of the great things about this recipe is that it really kind of stands on its own. I mean, if you're out and about and you need a quick snack, this is something to pack. If you're out taking that person that you're caring for out on a little trip, a drive, whatever it is, an errand, to have something like this packed just in case someone gets hungry, blood sugar gets low, you need to make sure that we have these kinds of healthy snacks and healthy meals ready. Okay, so we've got our oats, we got our peanut butter. Next thing we're going to put in is we're going to put in some honey. So we're going to put in a 1/4 cup of honey. Let's see if we can get this going. And one of the things about honey is it tends to sit and kind of harden up a little bit, makes it very difficult to work with. So what I do is just pop it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. And that's going to soften it up and make it so that we can get it out of the container. It's just one of those little tips to make everything easier and expedite the process. So we're going to get that going here in a couple more seconds. And we'll get our honey in the bowl. Okay. All right. Now this should work a little bit better, hopefully. We can get that honey out of there. You see how this goes. It gets kind of hardened a little bit, sort of crystallized a little bit, but it's still perfectly fine to use. See, that's the thing. Honey can sit around. It crystallizes a little bit. Just a matter of warming it up a little bit and getting it to flow. And we're almost there. So you see I'm struggling a little bit to get this out of here. And this is just sort of the fun of watching Chef Steve in the Care Kitchen, so that you know that it's not just you, that everybody struggles with various issues when they're making a recipe. And I'm not going to cut this out so that you can actually see my struggles here. Okay. All right, so we've got a 1/4 cup of honey in there now. We've got our peanut butter, we've got our oats, we've got our honey. Next thing we're going to put in a 1/2 cup of raisins. We'll get those here. And of course, if we put a few more or a few less in, that's the beauty of a recipe like this. You can add a little more, a little bit less of things that you like when it comes to the dried fruits. If you wanted to put in something like, for instance, dried apricots or a different type of dried fruit, you could always put that in there. This is one of those recipes that has a lot of flexibility to it too. Okay, these I'm putting in next are dried cranberries. And we've got a 1/2 cup of those in there. And you see we're really building a very nice looking dough here. Okay, next thing we put in, and all these ingredients are in the Care Kitchen cookbook so that you can get them. Okay, so now we're going to put in a 1/2 cup of applesauce. That's our next ingredient. We'll get that in here. And we want to put in a 1/2 cup. And that's about what that container is. So there we go. Okay. 1/2 cup of applesauce in there. Okay, so let's recap what we've got in here so far. We've got our oats. We've got our honey. We've got our peanut butter. We've got our applesauce. We've got our raisins. And we've got our cranberries, dried cranberries in there. Okay, one more ingredient. We've got some sliced almonds here. And we're going to put in a 1/2 cup of those as well. Okay, so we got a 1/2 cup of almonds in here now. All right, just a couple more ingredients to go in. We need a little bit of salt, around a 1/4 teaspoon, just a little bit, and we need some cinnamon. I've got some cinnamon right here. And we'll put about a teaspoon of cinnamon in there. And again, with a recipe like this, it's it's not so exact as some other recipes, especially in baking, because we're not really putting any baking soda or baking powder or anything to make it rise or leaven in any way. So that means that when we put these cookies onto our cookie sheet, they are not going to spread and they're not going to rise because there's nothing in there to make it rise. Okay, so let's mix this all together and then we'll get it on our cookie sheets and we'll put it in the oven. So this recipe goes in a 325-degree oven for approximately 20 minutes. And then we'll take them out and we'll let them cool before we transfer them to a cooling rack to let them cool completely, and then they'll be ready to go. And the great thing about these is you can package these up, you can keep them around and have them for a healthy snack or a meal replacement. Great for a quick breakfast. You're in a rush to get out, grab one of these, take it with you, and you see this is making sort of a heavy dough. And we're going to just mix this a little bit more, and then we'll start getting it together, scooping it out, putting it on our cookie sheets, and popping it in the oven. Okay, so one more ingredient that I neglected to put in, and that is a banana, a ripe smashed banana. And I have one right here in this bowl that's ready to go. So we're going to put our banana in there. So you see, this really has lots of great stuff in it. So let's smash our banana up into our dough. And we'll mix that in, get that in there. And that's really going to help also to provide a little more starch, which is going to help to hold it together a little bit better. Okay. As you see, there's no butter or anything in here. The only thing we have is we have peanut butter. So we're providing some fat through that, and also through the various fruits that we have in here. But see, that's a nice heavy batter. Okay, so let's scoop it out, quarter-cup scoop. We'll get these mounds on here. Okay, we should be able to put about 6 on a sheet pan, and of course the parchment paper makes a huge difference in cleanup, and just also in the fact that cookies will not stick. So we want to make sure that we have that, so we expedite our cleanup and also make it so we can get our cookies off the pan without any fuss or muss. Okay, so now once we have these scooped on here, what we want to do is we want to just press down, and because as I said, these cookies will not rise or spread because they don't have any ingredients in them to make them do so, like a baking powder or eggs or baking soda, things like that. Okay, so we've got one pan ready. We've got 6 there. And let's get the rest of our batter out here. And then we'll get them in the oven. It's like we've got about enough for about 4 more. Okay. All right, we're going to use all of our dough up here. We've got those working there. Okay. So we're going to smash these down a little bit also. Make sure they're formed as nicely as we can. Okay. And we're just about ready to pop these into the oven. Let me wipe my hands off here and you see what we've got. So we've got 10 of these ready to go in the oven, and these are going to go in the oven at 325 for around 20 minutes. We're going to take them out, let them cool, and then we're going to give them a try. Okay, so I'll be back after these come out of the oven. Okay, so we have our healthy vegan cookies. I just pulled them out of the oven, and they look great. Here they are right here. And what we're going to do with these now is let them cool on the pans for 10 minutes before I remove them. And then I'm going to put them on a cooling rack, which I have right here. And then we'll let them cool completely, and then we'll give them a try. So I'll be back after we let these cool for about 10 minutes, and then we'll transfer them to our cooling rack and then give it a taste. Okay, so we have our healthy vegan cookies sitting here. They've been out of the oven for about 10 minutes and they're cooling. Now our next step with this is to take these and transfer them onto a cooling rack, which I have right here. So I'm going to do that right now. I've got this handy little mini spatula, which I got for cookie baking, and it's just perfect. It's easy to handle. And, this is something to remember too. If you're cooking with someone, an older adult, these kinds of things for being able to work with these things, it's much easier to work with something like this as someone ages. It's just easier to handle. Okay, so you see I'm removing these cookies very nicely. No sticking, of course, because we have our parchment paper. And we're getting them onto our cooling rack, and we'll let them cool completely, and then they'll be ready to go. Now, once these are completely cooled, they can be bagged up. This is the kind of thing you can wrap with wax paper. It's a great thing to take along. It's a great portable snack. If you're with that person that you're caring for, you have a doctor's appointment, and you're sitting there in the waiting room, and it's going on longer, to have something like this just at the ready available is just a really great thing to have. Provides great nutrition. It's very dense nutritionally because it has all kinds of great stuff in it. And again, this is a healthy vegan cookie. Very simple to put together. It's got oats. It's got a banana. It's got peanut butter. It's got honey. It's got dried raisins. It's got cranberries. And it's absolutely delicious, and it's really loaded with fiber and lots of great nutrition. And this is the kind of thing also great with an iced tea, great with a cup of coffee, just really, really great. Okay, so we've got these on the cooling rack. I'm going to be a little bit premature and try one. Normally I would wait till it cools a little bit more, but you see that came out beautiful. We'll break off a little piece, give it a try. Really, really good. Really delicious and very substantial. I mean, one of these is very filling and would make a great meal replacement, great snack, and just loaded with nutrition. Well, again, this is great fun. This is a recipe that's in the Care Kitchen Cookbook. This program is brought to you by ComForCare and At Your Side. I'm here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern with another episode of Care Kitchen where we cook with kindness, kindness being the main ingredient, and trying to get you to just play around and have fun in the kitchen. Be creative. Don't hesitate to try things. That's why we're here. And I'd love to hear from you. So whatever you're trying, I would love to know. Well, I look forward to seeing you next time, and I'm glad that you spent some time with me today. This is Chef Steve here in the Care Kitchen. I'll see you next time. Thanks.